Hi everyone, this is episode 66 of the Small Businesses Do It Better show. Tonight we're going to be talking with Neil Patel, who is the main guy at QuickSprout. He co-founded Kissmetrics and Crazy Egg. I am crazy excited to talk to him about website traffic, conversion, and all these exciting geek things. So stay tuned and we'll talk with him in just a moment. Okay, so again, this is episode 66 of Small Businesses Do It Better, and I'm your host, Carissa Dunphy. In just a moment, we'll be talking with Neil Patel, who is, I can't even begin to describe how excited I am because I'm totally a website analytic nerd, and this is really exciting for me. But I'm also excited for you guys to be able to ask Neil your questions because we don't get this kind of opportunity very often to talk to an expert of this caliber on website conversions and traffic and converting customers and all this important stuff. But first I want to tell you about our sponsor, which is Ovaleye TV. And Ovaleye.tv hosts and produces live video events built to meet your objectives, whether it's a upcoming event, promotion, anything that you want to promote. Ovaleye TV can help you do that with live events. Contact them today to get your free 30-minute consultation at Ovaleye.tv. And I don't really have any news that I want to talk about today because I'm so excited to talk to Neil about geek things. So watch the show, rate it, share it. I guess that's good for our news. So thank you all for watching. If you're in the live chat right now and you have a question for Neil or myself, feel free to type it in the chat and I will ask it for him from you. So without any more wasting of time, let's get Neil on. Hi, Neil. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to talk to you. So for those of you who may not know exactly what you do or your background, how you just kind of started out of school and just took off, can you explain a little bit about QuickSprout, the two companies you co-founded, and anything else is really exciting?
Sure. So I blog at QuickSprout. I blog about traffic acquisition, conversion optimization, sometimes stories from my entrepreneurial journey. And that's the main stuff, right? Just tidbits, hopefully lessons I can pass on to you from things that I've learned, hopefully mistakes that I can save you from making. Other than that, I focus on my main startup these days is Kissmetrics. It's a customer analytics platform, and we help you track things like the lifetime value of your customer, churn, revenue, average selling price per customer. We do core analysis, things like that. Pretty much, we give you the metrics that help you improve your bottom line. And my previous startup was another analytics company called Crazy Egg. And Crazy Egg is a usability analytics tool in which it shows you where people are clicking on your site, where they're not, what you can modify with your design to make it overall more usable.
Very cool. And I read a little bit about your bio, and you basically got your first client out of school from someone who was sitting in your class.
That's right.
That's crazy.
I was in high school at the time, and then I was taking nighttime college classes because I wanted to graduate college early. I gave a speech. The class was actually Speech 101. I gave a speech on how search engines work. One of the guys in there was a sales rep at a local power supply manufacturing company. And he actually said, hey, my boss was talking about that SEO thingy that you're talking about. You want a job? And I'm like, I'm in high school. And he's like, well, do you want an intro? Maybe you be a consultant. Next thing you know, they hired me.
That's great. That's everyone's dream. And little do you ever hear about it actually happening to someone. So that's amazing. So another place I read on one of your, I could get lost like for days in your websites just sucking up the information, honestly. I read about quote unquote amateur SEO blog techniques. So is there something that you've come across that is kind of the norm that everybody kind of does wrong or could always improve upon? Is there like just something that you always see? It's the first thing that you check off the list?
Sure, a lot of times site companies and sites are using like duplicate title tags or meta descriptions, or they're too short or they're too long. A lot of times that's the biggest mistake that I'm seeing new companies making, as well as really established companies. So the ones in between are doing it pretty well. And you can usually find out that information through Google Webmaster Tools. So if you log in, put your site in there, it's free, keep in mind. It'll actually tell you if your title tags or meta description tags are too short or too long, or if they're duplicate and what you need to fix there. But that's a really basic mistake that a lot of businesses are making, and fixing that one little thing can actually provide a nice increase in traffic.
Good, easy tip too. And this is really cool. And I've seen this in other ways, but the way that you do it is, I like it. It makes sense. So the heat maps on Crazy Egg. So here's a small image here of a heat map. And can you kind of explain what exactly it does and why it's so important? Because if you don't know this stuff, you can't get better.
Yeah, so what a heat map does is it actually shows you where people are clicking and where they're not. So the cold spots, right, the light blue spots being less clicks, the dark red spots being a lot of clicks, right? So think of it this way. The more clicks, assuming in an area that you want, the better off you are. If you're not getting too many clicks in an area you want, that means you need to adjust something in your website. The other thing you can track is if people are clicking things that you wouldn't expect them to. So sometimes a lot of people click an image because they think that image links to somewhere, but you didn't link it to anywhere, right? If you're getting a lot of clicks and the heat map is showing that, then you should actually make that image a link. So it just overall helps you fine tune your design, maybe shift up some elements or shift down. It'll pretty much help you figure out how to make your experience or the elements of the site more usable for your visitor or your customer.
Definitely. And with Crazy Egg and Kissmetrics and anything else in your background, you're the co-founder of this. And of all the entrepreneurs I talk with, there's very favorable and very unfavorable things that people say about having a partner when starting a company. So what would you have to say to entrepreneurs who are going to work with a partner, co-found something?
I think it's a good thing, right? Without a partner, it's much harder to get stuff done, especially when you're starting off because you don't have a ton of cash, right? So having a partner is a really good thing. Now, if you're going to go and get a business partner, make sure that if you're an engineer, you're not getting another engineer. It doesn't make sense. But if you're an engineer and you get a business guy or a web designer or whatever it may be, that actually works out really well because there's skill sets that you don't have. So it allows you to do much more things with the business than if you guys have the same skill sets. So that's one thing that's important. Number two, a business partnership is very messy to get out of. I actually say it's worse than a marriage. And the reason being is you don't just have a home and one or two kids. You could have investors, you could have a ton of employees, you could have a lot of customers, right? All these things make it a much more messy situation, especially considering if that's where all your income's coming from. What happens when that person no longer wants to be there and then you lose a lot of money and you can't pay for your mortgage anymore, your rent, and can't support your wife and kids, or your husband and kids, whatever it may be. So make sure whoever you pick as your business partner, you know them quite well. And don't just know them for a bit, but like really get to know them. You don't have to be best friends or anything like that, but you have to be able to get along from a working relationship. You have to make sure that you guys are both efficient, are willing to put in a lot of long hours. And most importantly, you guys have to be really transparent with your communication, right? Like don't hold back. Don't be like, I really want to tell him that he's slacking, but how do I say it in a nice way? No, you sit him down and you say, look, you're slacking. Get off your butt and get back to work. And it's as simple as that. And if you can't be blunt, then it's not going to work out.
Good tip. Be blunt. We like that. No sugarcoating. Just get it done. That's how I work too. So good tip. I like that one. I just pulled this up on your website on QuickSprout, your all-time #1 blog post, The Science of Instagram, How to Get More Followers and Likes. Is there see, with Instagram, it's kind of, it depends on what you're posting, I think. So, my business posts about businessy stuff don't really get that much engagement. But when I post, the products that I feature on the show, like super caffeinated waffles and how crazy they make me, that stuff works well. So what is the basic science behind Instagram?
Sure. And funny enough, a lot of times what you think will work won't work. Like behind me, I think is a teddy bear, and it's Ted. It's a Ted teddy bear from the movie, and it actually speaks and moves his mouth. I took a picture, put it on Instagram, got over 1,000 likes. But if I put something about my business, it's not going to get 1,000 likes by any means. So the real trick to Instagram, from what I learning, is what I learned over the years. You have to really engage. If you don't engage with the community, like other people's photos, whether you're friends with it or not your friends, comment on other people's profiles, all that kind of stuff, you're not going to get followers. Those are like the main two ways to get followers and people to like your stuff back. And then from there, it's just a question of how quickly can you continually put up really good, unique, creative photos that other people haven't seen on Instagram. And then using tags based on broad categories that you know other people are searching.
Yeah, I'm sure Ted, that's, and the timing and everything, you know, if you post Ted in 2 years, it may not get anything like that, but that's pretty funny though.
Yeah, and on that blog post, I don't have the stats off the top of my head, but I break down when I ended up finding out the most popular hours to post was. Because there's an analytics tool that helps you determine when to post and when not to post. I think it's like Statagram. I forgot the exact name of it, but I break it all down in that post.
Very cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't heard of that one. I know I like to mess around. I like to post stuff really late and get Euro audiences. So depending on the content, I like to mess around with different continents.
That's good. That's smart, right? It's just being creative. So
it's fun, and it's a new little thing to try. And at the end of the day, your numbers are going to still go up no matter what country it is. So, okay, so this is insane. So the companies that you have worked with and consulted with and helped improve their traffic and bottom line are literally I can't think of the word, endless. There's so many. If you can think of a company's name, he's worked with them. So what are your tips for someone like yourself, like just getting out of college, or someone who's just starting to get to work with these big companies but maybe hasn't yet? What are your tips on getting those big ones? Because I know the first ones are the hardest.
Yeah, so a few things you should know. The big companies typically don't pay you the most. They really don't. It's the mid-sized ones because they want to be the biggest company, so they'll spend more money. And the big companies have so much red tape and they move so slow, there's just not as much money unless you're a really big agency yourself compared to going after the mid-sized ones. But if you want to go after the big ones to use them as brand recognition and hopefully get you some bigger paying customers that are mid-sized, what I recommend doing is just going to conferences. Speaking at conferences is the #1 way I was able to get big customers because big companies have big budgets. Employees want to get out of the work because they usually don't like working there, and they'll go to conferences. And that's where you'll find a lot of them, and they'll be like, hey, you know, I have a $5,000 budget, would love to work with you. It's not much, but you take the $5,000 one time, so that way you can put this logo on your website saying you worked with them, right? But where you really make your money is on the mid-size. And a lot of them will come from word of mouth, so don't just expect these big guys to hit you up. I've been doing this since 10, 11 years now, right? And because I've been doing it for so long, I've been able to get a lot of companies because I've just been doing it forever. But like, you're not going to get them in the first year or two. If you do, you're lucky. You have to give it time.
Good info. I have a question in the live chat from Julie Boucher. She is I guess, I'm not sure of her title, but she owns Slossa, which is, you probably don't know what it is, but it's awesome. My jar is around here somewhere. It's a food topping, a condiment, which is amazing, I might say. She says, I'm a CPG company and I want to direct my customers to my retail partners. What is the best way to show the potentially thousands of stores on your site so your customers can find stores quicker? Is it through maps, regional lists, etc.?
Yes, it would be through maps, regional lists, maybe store locators. That would help. That's actually easy. Type in your zip code and boom, right? Here's a list of all the sites. Other than that, you can point them to Facebook fan pages, get them to go and just be like, hey, like our page. And on there, you can talk about all the locations, or you can create a static HTML page within Facebook through the iframe. And you can actually like have a store locator on there, but it just depends how you want to slice and dice it. And you can also go to all the local directories, like the yellow pages, the white pages, and make sure all your stores that carry the products are.
That was a good question, Julie. So for in the chat, if you have a question, please let me know, because this is an insane opportunity to ask Neil your questions. I want to ask you a couple quick, fast questions, if you don't mind, because these are really fun. Kind of breaks it up a little bit. So is there a time of day, or what's your most productive environment for your own self?
After 8 p.m.
After 8?
Yes.
Okay. And what is a business book that you'd recommend for anybody to read?
The Lean Startup.
Oh, that's good.
Because I think it's good for people who especially are on the business end, not just engineering.
I have a book right on the shelf behind me here. That's funny. And who is maybe not a mentor, but maybe a role model that you've looked up to? Elon
Musk. I don't know him, but I love the guy to death. There's not too many guys that can work on 2 companies at the same time that are worth more than $1 billion each. So.
Well, you're so much younger. You have potential to get there, right?
I hope, but I don't think I'll ever get there. The odds are against me, right? It's what Elon's done is very rare. He's not even a diamond in the rough. He's like a diamond in the whole damn planet, like just maybe one. But you know, either way, I'm blessed. I'm happy. My life isn't bad. I don't really have any financial worries. So
that's good. What is your favorite guilty pleasure snack?
Ice cream.
Ice cream, good one.
Even ice cream cake. I love it. I love mint chocolate chip, and I love Oreos, and you blend them all together, put some cake on there, and boom, you're good to go.
That sounds really good. And what's your favorite movie?
I don't have a favorite movie, but I love like Broiler Room, Wall Street. I just saw the movie Arbitrage, although it's, you know, more than a year old. I think something like that. That wasn't too bad. I love business movies, like Limitless is another one.
Those are very good. I liked Wall Street too, both of them. Okay, I have another question in the chat room from Jennifer Dono, and she wants to know why you guest posted on SEO Moz. It seems like you're competitors for Kissmetrics. How has it helped your business?
Sure. So they don't really do the same thing as Kissmetrics. And at that time when I was guest posting, they didn't have the analytics portion of their business. But even now, right, they do something totally different. They don't tell you your like average selling price and lifetime value of a customer and all those revenue-based metrics. On the flip side, they do stuff we don't do as well, right? They can track, you know, how well you're doing on the social web and stuff like that. And we don't necessarily tell you all your social stats. So.
Okay. And are there any tools out there that you could think of that people should just automatically start using? I mean, you know, the Google tools are kind of a given, but there's like the HubSpot ones and all these other tools that are free and kind of give you basic answers. Are they worth putting your time and effort into, or should a small business owner get more specific and have someone target just their business?
Yeah, they should figure out just what's right for their business. There's so many free tools out there. There's no point in trying to figure out all of them or try all of them. Use the ones that's most applicable to your business. Like for me, I love WordPress because it's a great way to blog. Also love Yesware because I can email you, and if you don't open up the email, I'll know. Or if you open up the email and don't respond to me, I'll also know. So it just gives me those identifiers, because if you don't ever respond, I can email you again. If you don't open it up, I can send you another email with a different subject line. So those are 2 tools I love. Enroll.me is another one, unroll.me. And what that site does is it helps me manage my inbox. So it pretty much takes all the junk emails, and with one click I can unsubscribe from all of them, unsubscribe. And then all the ones that aren't that important, like Facebook updates and stuff like that, it'll take all those emails, condense it into one, and send it to me once a day.
Wow. That one is something that everybody can benefit from. That's insane.
That's great. Yeah, that's one of my favorite tools. I log in it every day, and I just make sure I unsubscribe for any new people that automatically add me to the list when I didn't really approve it.
What do you think the science is behind doing that? I hate it when I email someone and then I'm automatically on their list. What do you have to say about that?
I think it sucks, right? I don't know why people do it. You shouldn't, because you're going to get a ton of spam complaints, and if you get spam complaints, you're not going to get good email deliverability. Definitely.
So another blog post of yours that I read and I liked is about using social media effectively. So lately I've been seeing all over the place, you know, be great at 1 or 2, not be so-so on 7 social networks. So what are your, I guess, top couple of pieces of advice for being effective and using social media?
Sure. So pick the few social sites that are most applicable to your business. So for me, I pick Google Plus because Google owns it, even though it doesn't drive a ton of traffic. I pick Facebook and I pick Twitter, right? I could pick a lot more, but then you're taking your visitors and saying, hey, you go check out Pinterest and you check out LinkedIn and you check out Twitter and you check out Facebook. And what happens is you won't get too many shares on any of them. So focus on the networks that you think will drive you the most traffic and where your ideal customers are. Then secondly, after you got 3, no more than 3, ideally 1 or even 2 max. Then what you want to do is participate in the community. So whether it's posting on walls or communicating with other members or adding them as friends or following them, direct messaging them, asking questions, replying to people when they have questions. So you want to engage. If you don't engage, you're never going to be part of the community, which means you're never going to have a ton of followers or people listening to your advice or wanting to click on links. And then the other step would be post interesting stuff. Find unique things from around the web that can benefit your potential customer. Doesn't have to be related to your business, just things that benefit them, and help them out and do whatever you can to make sure that their life is better. Because eventually they'll be like, hey, this guy's interesting. What does he do? Oh, he's a co-founder of Kissmetrics. Never really talks about it, but he has all this great information. So let me look what Kissmetrics is about, because if he has all this great information, the product's probably great in and of itself. And that's how we actually get a lot of our business, from social media, right? We just help and keep on helping other people, and eventually they're like, what does this company do?
That's a good tip, because a lot of people that I speak with say, I never get the conversion with social media that I'm expecting. So I guess wording it like that, you kind of get your answer on how they use it.
Yeah, and what we found out is social media usually doesn't directly convert into customers. But what will happen is someone will come from Facebook to our blog, read our blog 2-3 times, and then go from our blog to our main homepage and sign up. But they first came from, let's say, a Facebook or a Twitter. And we've seen that trend many, many times. But companies look at it and be like, oh, no one converts from Facebook or Twitter. But technically, yeah, a lot of them are your blog audience, and your blog audience is now converting into buying your product or service.
Yeah, so it's a 3-stepper, but in the end, the answer's still the same. And what do you have to say? That's a good point on converting from social media to customers. But how about converting from your website to customers, which is the middle part of that? A lot of people just don't understand how to do the website, how to build it, how to lay it out, and they don't want to, with the tight budgets, they don't want to hire someone. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you just make sure you have call to actions in the right place, so like above the fold. And you can't just expect people to buy when they don't know what they're buying. So answer the basic questions. Why am I here? What do you guys do, right? Like answering those actually helps you get more buyers. Then having call to actions above your fold, at the end of your site, in between, all those places. Then also doing options for people who don't want to buy right away. So maybe collect emails and offer them a free ebook or something, and then educate them. And then once you start sending them like 7 emails throughout the whole process, you may educate a few times in the first few, then pitch them on your product, then educate more, and then pitch them again, right? Like it's just a whole process in which it's all about helping people. And if you help people and then you pitch them on what you do, they're more likely to sign up. So we found that to be a very effective channel to drive sales.
Good. And with the people who start a new campaign, whether it's email marketing or social media or whatever, what do you think the top thing is that make these campaigns unsuccessful?
They don't give it at least 6 months to a year. You can't expect quick results.
They give up before it's even time to get the results.
That's right, because once you have the traffic, then you got to focus on the conversion. But you first got to focus on the engagement and traffic, which takes a while. You're not going to build up a great Twitter profile in 3 months or even 5-6 months.
Definitely. And this is my favorite question, but it's really general. So I don't know. What if you had one piece of advice, your top tip to an entrepreneur, number one thing in any category, what would it be?
Never give up. Because the reason most entrepreneurs don't make it is because they fail. And once they fail, they stop. But if you fail and you get back up and you keep trying, and you may fall a few more times, but if you keep getting up and keep trying, eventually you'll learn from your mistakes. And if you can learn from your mistakes and not make the same ones over and over again, you're more likely to succeed. Right? You don't have to be the smartest person out there. All you have to do is just keep learning from your mistakes and avoid repeating the same one over again.
Excellent tip. I want to thank you so much for talking with me tonight and answering all these questions. Can you tell everybody where we can find you online and if you have anything coming up that you'd like everyone to know about?
Yeah, nothing really coming up online. You can find me on my blog at Quicksprout, QUICKSPROUT.com. And you can also find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Neil Patel.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. This information is invaluable, and I want to thank everyone in the live chat too for asking your questions, because Neil is the person that you want to ask them to. So thank you again, Neil. Excellent information and tips, and I was very excited to pick your brain tonight. So thanks for talking with me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to have to watch this over and over because that was all exciting. You got to write down all these. I think it was rollup.me. That one sounds really exciting. Okay, so that was Neil Patel of Quicksprout.com, co-founder of Kissmetrics and Crazy Egg. And in the show notes, we'll have all of his links and contact information in case you want to get a hold of him and learn more about all these analytic and tracking tools and information that he provides for all of his readers. Thanks for watching the show tonight. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a rating or a review on iTunes because it makes a difference and we like being at the top. So thank you everyone for watching tonight.